Hello everyone, this is episode 19, I believe, of my video series as a DLA intern here. Um, yeah, I want to start off by, it's kind of a fresh night out here, or almost a night really. Um, it's kind of amazing to see or witness, the night falling upon me and everything, but, today I'm finishing up, was trying to finishing up the bad recordings to put on that Nine Naturalist, and I'm almost done. All I need to do is upload the recordings from the backpacking trip, which is what today's episode is about. And yeah, backpacking trip overall, it was actually a pretty pleasant experience actually. We went to Kephart Shelter, which is like it was a lot shorter than I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna take like 2 hours, but apparently it was like I felt like 45 minutes honestly. And that might have been what it actually was. But yeah, we stayed there. We got there like Tuesday at I want to say like 10 or 11 at the entrance. Then we hiked for 2 miles. It wasn't that bad of a hike, and we got to the shelter around I want to say noon. And so after that we had just the whole rest of the day just to like explore the place, the shelter, the river nearby, and honestly it was a pretty great place. The river was actually a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And just knowing that, a lot of stuff was present there. And what the one thing that really caught me off guard is actually how good most of the freeze-dried food that we had to make that turned out to be. Freeze-dried food by itself doesn't like sound appetizing, but you just add hot water and stir and let it sit for let's say 10 to 20 minutes, and then you just stir it again just to make sure it's like good enough to eat, and then you just eat it. And most of them, like I think almost every single meal, like I said, is actually pretty good. But my favorite one was beef pasta marinara. That was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we had 3 lunches, 2 breakfasts, 2 dinners. So we had two meals on Tuesday, that lunch and then dinner, and then Wednesday we had breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then Thursday we had breakfast and then lunch. Oh no, actually no, we didn't have lunch. Actually, I take that back. Um, After breakfast we tidied up everything we left, but most of our time there we just basically much explored the whole time. That was basically the whole premise of the backpacking trip. Just like explore what's around the surroundings area, around the shelter and the river, and the trails that go off from the shelter, and they were pretty enjoyable. I think the thing that actually surprised me the most about the whole place itself is just how calm it is, honestly. And I feel like it should be every shelter, just based on my first impressions, really. Um, but the shelter itself was actually pretty. It wasn't that bad, honestly. I mean, like it wasn't the best or the comfiest sleep that I've had, but it's not the worst, honestly. Um, I did feel like my my back and hips hurt every time I try to turn because I move a lot when I'm sleeping. I will admit that. um, but it wasn't that bad of a sleep, honestly, for those 2 nights that we stayed there. Um, but yeah. What else? I guess actually we did do a lot of black lighting when the night came, and I did pull out the bat detector, and it just picked up your normal stuff like uh, eastern red bat, hoary bat, evening bat, all that stuff. But the most interesting thing I think we found there was probably the crayfish, and I know it sounds like it should be present there, I guess, but it's just like actually being able to use like the black light to find it, because just using a normal flashlight, they're just camouflaged, and especially with the river, with the creek or the river flowing, it's kind of hard to spot them. So, like I said, using a UV flashlight and using it to spot them was actually pretty cool. And me and Zach were able to catch one, and then he was able to photograph them, and that was a pretty pleasant experience. And also salamanders actually. All four of us actually found salamanders, and then me and Haley just stuck around a bit longer to find salamanders and more crayfish. But yeah, if I had to give this backpacking trip a rating out of 10, it's probably like, honestly, probably give it a 8.9 out of 10. The one downside is that I really didn't hear or see any birds, sadly. The only prominent things I've heard of was like red-eyed vireos, and then a dark-eyed junco in the afternoon hike on Wednesday. And pretty much it. I mean, like, I didn't know what to expect in birds. Honestly, I was more there for the hike itself and the trails, and I guess the river and the creek also. But yeah, it was a pretty good backpacking trip, honestly, if I had to say so myself. And that Friday, Renee had to leave early, so she's not currently with us, and tomorrow is her last day, and it's a half day actually. So after tomorrow, I'm actually gonna head to Dr. Costa Ms. Lizzie's house. They offered to house me for tomorrow night, and then in the morning, on Saturday morning, I'll head back home to South Carolina from their house. So, if y'all see this, Dr. Costa Ms. Lizzie, I thank you in advance for housing me, and I am deeply honored to be in your household, and it's really been a pleasure to record these videos, this series. I know, like I said, I haven't been consistent, so I will apologize for that, but being able to record these videos and just trying to do my best to share my experience with y'all, it's been a blessing, really. And I'm probably gonna record one more video tomorrow, probably sometime before I leave, just to give my final thoughts, I guess. But yeah, I'm actually gonna miss this place. I mean, the people who are in the housing itself are like meh. I mean, they can be rowdy and lousy, and I don't know, a bit too energetic at night. Ugh. But yeah, this place actually isn't that bad, if I say so myself. So I'm pretty happy with how my time in IRH Pigeon Forge has turned out. So yeah. But I think I'll end it there for today. This is more of a late recording, but I don't know. It just felt necessary, I think, honestly. Just seeing the night sky, and you really can't see much, but it was really cool. It was really cool and fresh night. So yeah, I'll end it there, and hope you all enjoy it, and I hope to see y'all tomorrow for probably the last ever episode. So thank you all. Peace.